In just 12 months, America has lost more than 1,200 major restaurants. And the worst part is this. The chains tied to the youth, families, and memories of Americans 50+ are collapsing the fastest. If you ever thought these brands would never disappear, 2025 is about to prove the opposite. Today, I'm going to show you 12 chains that are definitely entering the death zone in 2025, based on real events that have already happened. Mass closures, unpaid wages, bankruptcies, customers leaving, and the system breaking from the inside. And you need to know this now, because a few chains on this list are closing stores in just the next few weeks, possibly right in the neighborhood where you live. But the most shocking part? The chain in the number one spot is a name America once believed was impossible to kill. If you want to know the real reason and want to see the picture that the media hasn't dared to reveal, keep watching. 12. Red Lobster. The collapse no one thought would happen. If there is one restaurant chain that many Americans believed would last forever, it was Red Lobster. A place where affordable seafood became a small reward after a long week of hard work. A place where middle-aged couples celebrated anniversaries with a simple but heartfelt plate of shrimp scampi. And a place where millions of American families created memories. But then everything changed. So fast that no one had time to notice. In early 2024, the first signs started to appear. Many locations suddenly reduced operating hours, employees had their shifts cut, and the menu became smaller. A few stores hung for lease signs that left regular customers confused. But people still believed it was just a temporary adjustment. Until Red Lobster declared bankruptcy. In just a few weeks, more than 100 restaurants shut down. Lights off, signs taken down, kitchen equipment auctioned off. Parking lots that were once packed are now eerily empty. The silence of those spaces is not just the silence of a closed restaurant, but the silence of an era ending. But what shocked people even more, this collapse did not happen overnight. It was the result of rising ingredient costs, rent prices exceeding what the business could handle, and declining customer traffic year after year. And the final blow, the endless shrimp program, turned into a strategic mistake that cost Red Lobster tens of millions of dollars in just a few months. A dish created to bring customers back, ultimately dragged the entire company down. Behind the closed doors of the restaurant are tens of thousands of employees who lost their jobs, communities that once saw Red Lobster as a familiar gathering spot, and a big question. How did a brand that once seemed so strong fall this fast? The saddest part is this. The collapse of Red Lobster is not just the story of a restaurant chain. It reflects a broader reality. When a simple seafood meal has become a luxury for the working class. When the model of middle-class American families going out for a weekend dinner is no longer as easy as it used to be. In 2025, Red Lobster still has a chance to survive. Downsizing, changing the menu, replacing leadership, and rebuilding trust. But the truth is, no one knows how much time the chain has left. A once beloved national seafood brand is standing on a very thin line between trying to recover and disappearing forever. Have you ever eaten at Red Lobster? Have you seen any locations near your home disappear? Leave a comment below. Your story helps us see clearly what's happening to major restaurant chains in America. 11. TGI Fridays, the sudden shutdown that shocked America. On the first day of January 2024, people in Massachusetts woke up and witnessed a scene no one could have imagined. 12 TGI Fridays restaurants closed on the same day. No prior notice, no goodbye, only removed signs and empty parking lots. That event was like a cold click, signaling something worse waiting ahead. TGI Fridays could no longer hang on. From a nationwide symbol of weekend celebration, Fridays is falling into a situation even employees didn't expect. Unprecedentedly empty customer traffic, soaring operating costs, long-running franchise losses, and many restaurant owners being forced to give up their locations just to stop losing money. The collapse of Fridays is not just a business failure. It feels like watching a piece of American cultural memory being dismantled one nail at a time. For many people 50+, Fridays is a place tied to life milestones. The first burger with their child, a 20th birthday, or the first date with the partner they're with today. But now, right where you once laughed and raised a glass, there is only a white sheet of paper taped to the window, closed permanently. And then there was a story from a viewer that made the picture feel more real and more painful. I walked into TGI Fridays, waited 20 minutes just to get a table, another 30 minutes, and still no one came to take our order. The table was dusty, the menu was dirty, the staff piled dirty dishes on empty tables. I looked at my wife, looked at my child, and stood up and left. I swear I will never come back. That isn't a one-star Yelp review. That is the feeling of being betrayed. The problem with Fridays isn't just the changing market. It lies in the complete shift happening across America. Young people are switching to fast, casual, low-calorie drinks and no longer like the old, noisy atmosphere. Middle-aged people are tightening their budgets because of inflation. Franchise owners are drowning in rent and labor costs. The mass closures in Massachusetts are just the opening chapter, and many other states are about to witness the same thing. The days of TGIF, thank God it's Friday, are slowly becoming a sad reminder. We once had beautiful places, but we couldn't keep them. If this surprises you, hit like so the video can reach more people. And remember to subscribe, because the next 10 chains on this list are even more shocking. 10. Hooters. A hot icon that is cooling right before America's eyes. If the shock of TGI Fridays made people jump, then Hooters brings a different feeling. The slow fading of an era. In mid-2024, a wave of Hooters locations from Virginia to Florida quietly shut down, leaving behind empty storefronts and orange and white logos taken down as if they had never existed. No explanation, no goodbye. Just a void that left many people 50+ asking themselves, what happened to the place that was once an American cultural specialty for decades? The truth is, Hooters didn't collapse from losing customers overnight. It collapsed because America changed, and they didn't. The iconic 90s model, where a sports bar mixed with a hot image, now feels out of sync with a new generation that prefers neutral, wholesome, quiet, and non-awkward spaces. Wing prices rising, smaller portions, and declining quality have led many people to bluntly say, it's not worth the money anymore. And for middle-aged Americans struggling with inflation, Hooters is no longer on the list of go once in a while for fun like it used to be. But perhaps what made Hooters decline the fastest were the stories from the inside, from the very people who once wore the orange apron to serve customers. A viewer shared, "The Hooters in my town closed 6 years ago, not because it ran out of customers, but because no one wanted to deal with such a problematic environment anymore." From employees being harassed, to appearance pressure, to long Reddit posts describing not-so-clean behind-the-scenes conditions, all of it gradually pushed customers away. There was another comment that left many viewers in silence. "I don't like Hooters, but I didn't think it would disappear. Turns out, in this America, anything can disappear faster than we think." And the saddest part is, Hooters wasn't defeated by competitors. but by the era. As Wingstop, Buffalo Wild Wings, and modern craft beer bars rose, Hooters kept clinging to what once made them famous, even when it no longer fit. A brand that was once loud, bright, and full of energy is now only a memory. The orange neon signs that used to light up entire streets are now taken down, leaving behind patchy walls and silent parking lots. Hooters was once where American men gathered to watch a game, where friends met on weekends, where many people 50+ still remember it as part of their youth. But the America of today is no longer the America of 1992. And if a brand refuses to change, it will be swept away by time, faster than any warning. 9. Boston Market. When an American family collapses right in its own kitchen, Boston Market didn't collapse because it lost customers overnight. It collapsed because everything came crashing down at the same time, and all of it was real, publicly documented problems. In 2023-2024, the chain went through unprecedented events. 27 stores were shut down by authorities because they owed employees wages. Dozens of workers in Colorado, New Jersey, and Massachusetts reported having to wait weeks to months to receive their pay. Some locations were sealed right in the middle of working hours. The chain owed more than 11 million USD in ingredient purchases. Chicken suppliers, vegetable suppliers, seasoning vendors, all of them filed lawsuits because Boston Market didn't pay its invoices. The result? Ingredients were cut off, and many stores didn't have enough food to stay open. At least 50 stores closed within just 12 months. Not strategic downsizing, but emergency shutdowns, with some locations closing and employees only finding out when they arrived for their shift. All of this made Boston Market one of the fastest free-falling chains in America. A viewer shared a story that hit many people right in the heart. Back then, Boston Market was my family's weekend dinner. But where I live, they shut down like they disappeared overnight. No announcement, no thank you. Just the metal shutter pulled down and a cold white piece of paper. Boston Market collapsed because of a lack of innovation, true. But the deeper reason is this: no one had enough money or enough responsibility to save it. Not every chain collapses because of trends. Some collapse because there is no one left standing behind them. A brand that was once a symbol of a warm, home-style meal is now mentioned mostly in lawsuits, unpaid wages, and stores being seized. And that is the most painful part. Boston Market fell not because Americans forgot it, but because it could no longer sustain itself. If you've ever eaten at Boston Market, hit like. Maybe your story is the same as thousands of others. And don't forget to subscribe, because the next part will be even more shocking. 8. Joe's Crab Shack. When an ocean icon sank before it could come up for air, Joe's Crab Shack was once the place Americans went to escape the mainland. Fake waves, the smell of garlic butter, seafood piled high on the table, and bibs you had to tie on before eating. But that once vibrant name is sinking to the bottom. And this time, almost no one is reaching out a hand to pull it back up. The first crack showed in 2017 when the parent company filed for bankruptcy and more than 40 restaurants closed in a single night. By 2023-2024, everything shifted fully into the beyond saving stage. Some locations were sealed for unpaid wages. Suppliers cut deliveries because they were owed hundreds of thousands of dollars. And many branches closed so abruptly that customers returning found only an empty building with the furniture already gone. Even Landry's, the giant known for buying struggling chains, refused to take on the entire system, like a final verdict. Joe's was no longer worth saving. Behind that is a problem with no solution left. Seafood prices skyrocketing, post-COVID customers tightening their budgets, coastal operating costs being too expensive, while quality kept declining. A viewer wrote, "I love this place, but the last time I ate there, the shrimp was like rubber, the crab was cold. I looked at the plate and knew Joe's Crab Shack wasn't the Joe's it used to be anymore." It wasn't just a bad meal, but the moment people realized a brand once tied to laughter was losing its soul. Now, in many states, only empty buildings remain, a few faded old signs, and one uncomfortable question. Can the escape to the sea seafood model survive in an America where people are counting every dollar? What do you think about Joe's Crab Shack? Should it be revived, or should it be allowed to fade away? Leave a comment, because your perspective might be what many others are thinking but haven't said aloud. 7. Ruby. Tuesday, the fall that shocked the entire restaurant industry. One morning in April 2024, Americans walked past Ruby Tuesday and froze. A wave of stores sealed at the same time. No announcement, no goodbye, just a cold piece of paper. Closed, effective immediately. That moment felt like watching a familiar part of America. Stop breathing. Ruby Tuesday once had more than 800 restaurants, a gathering place for countless 50-plus families every weekend. But the collapse didn't come in one big explosion. It came from years of erosion, dying malls, steadily declining customers, higher prices but smaller portions, and declining quality that made middle-aged customers quietly walk away. In 2020, Ruby filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and closed more than 200 locations in just a few weeks. From a peak of 800 sites, now fewer than 200 remain, and that number is still shrinking every month. The cruelest part is this: Ruby Tuesday didn't lose because of one mistake. It lost because America changed while it stood still. Young people shifted to quick, fast, casual dining. Older adults tightened their spending because of inflation. And Ruby kept the same old menu, the same old model, the same old style, as if time had stopped. A viewer shared, "Back then, Ruby Tuesday was my family's dinner every week. Now the portions are smaller, the prices are higher, and the taste, nothing like before." That isn't a complaint. That is a farewell. Ruby Tuesday didn't disappear with one loud explosion. It faded away with hundreds of click sounds from closed doors, taking an entire slice of America's youth with it. Do you remember the last time you ate at Ruby Tuesday? Leave a comment. Your story might be the missing piece of the truth. 6. Steak and Shake, the silent death of a burger empire. Steak and Shake once lit up 24 hours a day, a gathering spot for young people, where hot burgers and thick milkshakes became a weekend ritual. But its collapse happened in a way no one imagined. No noise, no scandal, just a slow decay from the inside. Within 2 years, more than 100 stores disappeared. Not because of losses, but because the system no longer had anyone to fix machines, no managers, no one to control quality. Fryers broke down weekly, kitchens rusted, frozen inventory piled up, all reflecting a brand rotting from its very core. When the parent company tried to switch entirely to a franchise model to cut costs, franchise owners saw something terrifying. No loyal customers left, no competitive advantage, no future. More than half the stores were put up for sale, but no one wanted to buy. A viewer shared a moment that sent chills down everyone's spine. "I stopped by at 10 p.m. The door was open, but inside it was completely dark. An employee came out and said, 'We don't have anyone left to cook.' I felt like I had walked into an abandoned place." That sentence says it all. Steak and Shake didn't die because of the market. It died because no one was left to keep it alive. Now, the few remaining stores are like faint flames before a storm. Everyone knows what's coming, but no one wants to admit it. Have you seen Steak and Shake fading where you live? Leave a comment. Your story might help reveal what's happening across America. 5. Subway. When an empire couldn't hear the footsteps. Walking away, Subway didn't collapse overnight. It fell apart little by little, as customers walked out and never came back. Prices doubled, quality halved, dry bread, wilted veggies, bland meat. Everything drifted far from the fresh feeling Americans had known for 20 years. And when franchisees lost thousands of dollars every month, more than 8,000 stores were forced to close, silent but full of desperation. What shocked viewers were the experiences that felt too real. One viewer shared, "The sandwich I ate for 20 years, once $7, is now $16.21 USD. I looked at the receipt and knew Subway wasn't for me anymore." That wasn't a complaint. It was a farewell from an entire generation that once saw Subway as their go-to lunch. Subway didn't lose because of competitors. It lost because it forgot what customers wanted. A model dependent on cheap prices and speed can't survive when quality declines. Rourke Capital buying Subway was simply a clear sign that the brand had fallen out of its golden age and was trying to survive quarter by quarter. When a sandwich hits $16, Subway erases itself from Americans' everyday meal list. So the final question is, if Subway disappears, would you actually miss it? Leave a comment. Your story reveals what's really happening in America. 4. Denny's. When America's always open diner begins to turn off the lights. Denny's was once the symbol of a sleepless America, a place you could walk into at 3 a.m. after a shift, or at 6 a.m. for hot pancakes and unlimited coffee refills. For millions of people 50 plus, Denny's is a memory. The first breakfast with their child, a youthful road trip, or a long night needing a bright place to rest. But stepping into 2023-2024, something no one thought would happen finally did. Many Denny's closed. Many stopped operating 24/7, marking the decline of a brand that once survived by never sleeping. This collapse didn't come from a single blow, but from a series of slow cracks. Rising labor costs made overnight shifts too expensive. Customer traffic dropped because of inflation, and the quality of food and service declined. Many customers reported burnt pancakes, cold bacon, slow service, and dirty restaurants, things that should never happen at a brand built on comfort food. More than 80 locations have closed in recent years, and the remaining ones are running on fumes rather than thriving. An older viewer shared a story that made many people choke up. "I took my grandchild to Denny's, hoping he'd have the same experience his dad once had. But the table was greasy. We waited 40 minutes with no food, and when it finally came, it was cold. I looked at him and knew the Denny's my family loved was gone. A memory that was supposed to be beautiful became a farewell instead." Denny's didn't lose because of competitors. It lost because it couldn't keep up with an America that had changed. Young people prefer fast, casual, middle-aged customers tighten their budgets, and the 24/7 model is no longer sustainable when quality can't be maintained. Do you think Denny's can come back? Or is this a sign of an ending already written? Leave a comment, because your story may reveal what the entire restaurant industry is going through. 3. Applebee's. When America's friendly neighborhood turned into an empty house. If there was ever a chain that made Americans think this place will never disappear, it was Applebee's. A place where 50-plus families gathered after work. A place for simple but heartwarming birthdays. A place where a $25–30 dinner once felt worth every penny. But stepping into 2024-2025, that symbol fell so fast, no one could understand what was happening. More than 300 stores closed, sales plummeted, and even the CEO announced they would continue shrinking to survive. What killed Applebee's wasn't a lack of customers. It was the loss of trust. Prices rose like a high-end restaurant while quality dropped sharply. Smaller burgers, tough steaks, bland salads, slow service, and a tired atmosphere. For middle-aged Americans struggling with inflation, Applebee's was no longer a comfortable choice, but an unworthy luxury. Franchisees drowned in debt, rent skyrocketed, and many stores had to take down their signs overnight just to stop the bleeding. But the moment that hurt viewers the most came from a true story. Every Sunday, my family ate at Applebee's. The last time we went, the meal was cold, the portions were smaller, and the bill was nearly $50. I looked at my wife and knew we had just lost a familiar place. That wasn't a one-star review. It was the funeral of a piece of American memory. Applebee's didn't lose because of competitors. It lost because it stood still in a country that had changed. Young people choose fast casual, older adults want quality that matches the price, and the shopping malls, the backbone Applebee's depended on, are fading into darkness. And now, the question for you is this: does Applebee's still have a chance to come back? Or is it slowly heading toward the same fate as Red Lobster and TGI Fridays? Share your story. Many others are waiting to hear the real perspective from you. 2. IHOP. When America's national breakfast could no longer save itself, the empty Sunday morning parking lot. IHOP was once where Americans started their day with soft pancakes, hot coffee, and a family feeling. But stepping into 2024-2025, the truth became harsh. Fewer customers, higher costs, and the sit-down full-service model becoming a burden. A breakfast for two can reach $40, making many people turn away. One viewer said, "Breakfast at IHOP used to be a habit. Now it's a luxury." That was when people realized IHOP didn't lose because its food was outdated. It lost because life changed too fast. And if this pace continues, the familiar blue and yellow signs may disappear from American roads. IHOP, the empty Sunday morning parking lot. Do you still see an IHOP where you live? 1. Olive Garden. The last fortress is starting to shake. Olive Garden hasn't collapsed, but it is the most worrying, because even the most stable chain is now wobbling. Italian ingredient prices are rising, middle-aged customers are tightening their budgets, and young people are avoiding heavy-carb dishes. Locations are closing quietly, not loudly but steadily. Lines disappearing, more empty tables during what used to be peak hours. A longtime fan wrote, "I love Olive Garden, but the food doesn't fit life today anymore." When a brand that was once a symbol of warm, plentiful, accessible begins to lose customers, it isn't just Olive Garden's problem. It is a sign that the entire casual dining industry is sliding downward. In your opinion, will Olive Garden hold on or become the next victim? What you just watched is not only the story of 12 restaurant chains, but a sign that the way of life in America is changing every single day. If a brand that has existed for decades can't survive, then we, the consumers, the 50-plus families, must be more alert than ever. Have you seen any of the chains in this video disappear where you live? Leave a comment, because your story may reveal the truth that thousands of others are searching for. And if this video was helpful, hit like and subscribe so you won't miss the next major changes happening in America in 2025.